Hi guys, welcome to DeepTalk once again. I have a very special guest today, Nikhil Kamath from Zerodha. Hi, how are you?
Chetan. Good.
So Nikhil, everybody knows Nikhil. There's so many videos about him already. जब मैंने research करके था आपके video के millions of views है. But just very quickly, you're the co-founder of Zerodha, which is India's biggest like stockbroking firm and more.
Yeah.
It's the biggest finance firm almost in terms of number of people touched. I think it's a certain percentage of India's trading volume today.
I would say it would be about 15 to 18% of India's volume.
Wow. So every share जो शेयर खरीदा जाता है बेचा जाता है इंडिया में 15 to 18%, मतलब 1 in 6 is passing through Zerodha.
Correct. Yeah.
You're the man. And you're the co-founder of that company, and also now Zerodha has a lot of investments in other companies. I've worked for one small case, one of your wonderful companies, which helped this channel. They sponsored some of our videos, so thank you very much for that. And you are 35 years old, and we were doing, guys, some calculations. It's a private company. Zerodha is completely private, so private that इसमें वो कहते हैं ना इन्वेस्टर मनी, जैसे शार्क टैंक में दिखाते हैं, इन्वेस्टर मनी भी नहीं है. आप गए नहीं पिच करने, किसी के सामने खड़े होकर ये नहीं बोला आप आइए ज़ेरोधा में पैसे डालिए, जाना ही नहीं है.
नहीं, जब हमें शायद पैसे चाहिए थे, we've been around for about 12-13 years now. Maybe in the very beginning we needed money. Back then nobody would have given us money. And along the way we've been very lean and profitable by virtue of that. And today we don't need money because we've had many years of profitability behind us.
हमें पैसे नहीं चाहिए.
नहीं.
ये सर ये जो फ्लेक्स है ना, ये हमें पैसे चाहिए नहीं. हम स्टार्टअप है लेकिन हमें पैसे नहीं चाहिए. ये बहुत कम में होता है. I mean, what percent of startups are like that?
And also, how do you categorize startups today, right? Like सभी लोग अपने आप को startup बुलाते हैं. Like us being in the same business for 13 years and 13 years under the name Zerodha. We've been in the trading, sub-broking universe before that. I don't know if we are truly a startup today because we've been around for so long.
हाँ, but startup there's a sexiness ना, या startup like tech होगा और एक नई कंपनी होगी, बड़ा अच्छा सा ऑफिस होगा मॉडर्न सा, और यंग से फाउंडर होंगे और बहुत सारी वैल्यूएशन होगी, billions. So we guys, we were doing some back of the envelope calculation, and it's obviously not official, but it's probably a company worth, this is my Chetanbhagat's valuation, not his. So just don't, it's probably worth 10-15 billion dollars at least.
It depends on how optimistic or pessimistic one
I'm
is.
very optimistic, sir. आप 100 भी हो सकते हो.
हमारी business ऐसी है कि we are very cyclical, and if the markets do not do well, we don't do well as well. So we keep it at maybe half of what you're saying.
Guys, I am skipping with him his very early days, but let me just super fast forward it. He comes from a very middle class family. And you said in one of your interviews that your salary at the call center, you worked in a call center, your salary was 8,000 rupees a month.
Yeah.
And now you're talking 80,000 crores.
Yeah, but again, Chetan, valuation is not real money, na? It's a future multiple of present profit. Now, after 20 years, if we have actually made that money, then that number would be true.
I mean, Nikhil, how does a human brain, how old were you when you worked in a call center?
When I started my call center job, I was 17.
17. So now you're 35. Okay, 17, 18 years हो गए हैं. लेकिन how does the human brain process so much money? 8,000 रुपए से, like even the talk, चलो यार ठीक है, मतलब वो भी तो, लोगों के भी तो पैसे बैंक में ही पड़े होते हैं. वैसे you can't say कि ये असली, this is not real money. This is real money.
Right.
If you have shares of Google today, you can sell them. If you list Zerodha, you can get the money. Tomorrow there are, if you go call now, मैं करता हूँ सर आपके लिए फोन, बैंगलोर में like XYZ Capital and all these companies, and say Zerodha wants to sell a stake, but they will want this valuation. They will cut a check of real money or gold or goats. Whatever you want to be paid in, right?
Yeah. See, we're two brothers. We kind of lived together, grew up together, and we've been working together for the last, 15, 16 years. We used to manage money before Zerodha. We had a company called Kamath Associates. We would take money from friends, family, have a sub-broking license, and manage money through that. That's when for the first time, we had some good months when we started making a little bit of money.
When you say little bit, like
Like, you know,
क्योंकि आपसे पूछना पड़ेगा सर, आपका लिटिल बिट भी कुछ. हाँ.
no, but I think there were months when we would end up making like 10 lakh rupees or 20 lakh
Okay.
rupees. But 15 years ago, you know, even today that's a lot of money.
that
But
is a lot of
15
money.
years ago, when we were so much younger, that felt.
You felt like
Yeah.
that's when you felt rich.
That's when you started feeling ki, you know, ki money. There is some amount of money coming in. Also, you got enticed into believing that the path we have chosen, stock markets, it's a big opportunity, and if things work out, you know, you just have to be lucky in a couple of cycles, and you could achieve significant success in this industry.
Okay. So you talk about growing up with your brother. Where did you? Let's.
Yeah.
थोड़ा चले जाते हैं in the past.
Yeah.
You grew up where? Which school
So,
did you go to?
I was sure. So I was born in a town in Karnataka called Shimoga. My dad worked for Canara Bank, so he was a government employee, bank manager. We got transferred to Karnal in Haryana. I can't remember exactly what year this was, but we came back to Bangalore when I was about 7. So I've been in Bangalore for the last 28 years of my life. I call it home. I have immense love, and you know, like people talk about patriotism in a way. I feel like I have that much
city patriot.
You know, before we had nation states, we had city state. If Bangalore were a country of its own, I think it would find very many loyalists out there. Bangalore has given us so much, and it's just such a lovely place to kind of like. People are not as money-minded in Bangalore as they are in many other cities in India. I think on a relative basis. It's a society where everybody cares about being conscientious, kind of like contributing. If you look at all the philanthropy that is done in India, I don't know the number for sure, but I'm certain a vast majority would probably come from Bangalore. So, been in Bangalore for 28 years.
नहीं, आप पहले 7 साल के थे तो which school like did you go?
In Delhi, in Haryana, I went to Dayal Singh Public School. Came back to Bangalore, joined a school called the Oxford Senior Secondary School.
अभी तक मुझे दिख नहीं रहा कि like this. I can't see like somebody who has a background which is set up for massive success. Right. Okay, dad's in Canara Bank, posted in Karnal, born in Shimoga, फिर Bangalore आ गए. अभी तक तो there was no like. You were also expected to maximum do what? Become doctor, engineer, CA.
Yeah. So we're from a Brahmin family. Both parents are Brahmins. So all our cousins are, you know, like PhDs and MS. And I mean, if somebody is just an engineer, would probably be a bad thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
it's the engineer would probably be looked down upon on a relative sense. Went to school in Bangalore a lot. Was never really good at academics.
कितने थे मतलब आपकी रैंक कितने बच्चे थे क्लास में? लाइक रिपोर्ट कार्ड याद है क्या रैंक आती थी?
I know, like in शायद 7th, 8th, 9th, I remember. I quit school very early. I didn't finish. After the 10th, I did not go to school. I started working. I tried a bunch of things. I went to a school where I had a Marwadi friend. So we started a medical store,
So you
pharmacy.
just quit after class 10?
Yeah, I quit after class 10.
And you just said कि your family में अगर सिर्फ engineering भी करो तो तुम नलायक ही हो.
Yeah, but
तो
once they
तुम-
give
like,
up
what were
on you,
Like-
once they give up on you, then you can do whatever you want.
No, but how? Okay, wait. So you first, your grade 7, you said you were in the middle of the class, like your rank.
I think I used to get maybe 70%.
Okay, 70%. Okay, and then you quit, and then the घर पे, was there a nuclear bomb explosion, or was there a moment, or did they just give up on you gradually, or was it like, what was that like?
See, the thing is, they had already given up at that point. I don't think.
I mean, what was happening? Were you telling them in grade 8 and 9 ये मैंने नहीं करना है?
मैं नहीं बोल रहा था, but I think my teachers were telling them. They were saying.
इसको ले जाओ, इसको ले जाओ भाई.
Yeah, I don't think I was always very naughty, playing pranks. All
You?
of that. Yeah.
You're so soft spoken and so gentleman-like. You were naughty.
I mean, I think we all, at some level, believe we are naughty. On a relative basis, I might not really have been.
नहीं, but teacher बोल रहा है parents को.
But वो तो सभी teachers बोलते हैं ना, सभी के parents को, in a way. So in my own little bubble, maybe I thought I was naughty.
No, there are good students. My kids, I mean, I remember doing PTA meetings. अभी ये हुए कोरोना में तो online होते थे. And the thought of PTA meeting scares me.
Yeah.
Because what you said, हमेशा डांट ही पड़ती है. But then I told myself, no, I am the parent now. मुझे नहीं डांट पड़ सकती.
But then you were surprised.
Then I was surprised because the online call was on and they were talking about my kid, and then the teacher says, "Can you tell your dad not to check his phone?" तो मेरे को अभी भी PTA meeting में डांट पड़ी है as a parent also. Anyway, so you told your parents that this is not happening for you. Do you think it was something like you didn't take to academics?
Well, I think I was too much of a rebel without a cause. That's like the most candid way of me describing myself.
And your brother?
He did better at academics than I did, in the sense that he studied for a lot longer. He went to engineering and all of that. But at some level, I think he was not too keen on academics as well. So both of us in a way. Maybe it's something in the household, bad parenting. Let's blame it on someone else.
So, but what did your dad say? Because I'm asking you this because बहुत से लोग कुछ अलग करना चाहते हैं लाइफ में, and you know their parents, India का parents pressure is a very real thing in middle class families. So I want to ask you, because this is probably one of your first battles you've had to go through. When you know people said, "Hey, क्या कर रहा है लड़का पागल हो गया?" I mean literally that's what people will say. पगला गए हो क्या?
Yeah, from what I can remember, normally when kids go to like first PUC, that's what they call it in Karnataka, but like 11th grade in Delhi, that's when somewhere in between that grade is when I got my full-time job at a call center. That was after, you know, I used to use cell phones, that pharmacy I told you about, the laundry store I told you about. All of that was done. It might sound like hard to believe today, but 8,000 rupees back then was a lot of money. For a 17-year-old boy or 18-year-old boy, where you don't have to pay house rent and you don't really have very many expenses outside of the petrol, your phone bill, and you know your basic eating and stuff like that. 8,000 rupees was a lot of money. This was the time when call centers were really booming.
Yes.
Bangalore was the hub.
Which year? 17 years back, right? 2000,
Yeah,
about early
18,
2000s.
about
I
18
wrote
years
that book
back.
one night at a call center because it was such a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I joined this call center which was called 247 Customer in a road called Infantry Road in Bangalore. When I joined, it had X number of employees, and in the 2.5 years I spent there, the employee strength multiplied, you know, like 10 times, 20 times. So not by virtue of skill, but by virtue of being in the right place in a way, they promoted you and your salary went up. I mean, it didn't go up tremendously, but 8,000 at the end of maybe a couple of years, 2.5 years, had become 30,000, 40,000. By then, my parents, you know, like, it's a strange thing to say, but somebody goes to a medical college. I'm talking not about today, but of that era 18 years ago. A doctor would get paid 30,000-40,000. An engineer would get paid at 30,000-40,000. A bank employee, a senior one, a government employee would get paid the same. So I think at some level beyond that time, when I was 19, when I turned 20, because I was making a certain amount of money and my classmates from school, they were still in college. And I would console myself thinking, once they become doctors, they will come out and anyways they'll earn the same money. When I look back at it, probably a stupid way to look at it, because, you know, I have a ceiling and they did not. And that's just the starting pay that that profession begins in. Yeah, but it began like that. I had started trading at age 17 when I got my call center job. I used to do the UK shift. So that's like 5 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. I would sell accidental health insurance for a company called Stonebridge. So really funny job. You walk in, they would try to teach you how to sound British. Then they would...
Like accent training.
Yeah. And they would do this for like 1 month or whatever. They would teach you about a product.
And they'd give you a name, like an English
name?
name?
They would
What was your name?
I think my name was Nathan Parker. Like I would pick like the Hollywood movies I'd watched like recently, a name from that. And then you had to like sit all night and dial maybe 300 people. And if you converted 8 or 9 people into buying your product, that accidental health insurance, you kind of like had a good day. Luckily, strangely...
300 calls a night.
Yeah, you would do a lot
That's
of calls.
A lot. I mean, you know, one of the things when I was writing that book, it was a long time back. One night at a call center, I did a lot of research. including some of my cousins who are working in call center, and I saw that job, I mean, it's too much monotony. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over. Monotony pays off in life. I'm going to come to that later. Monotony pays off in life.
Yeah.
You're saying, yeah, it was 300 calls a night, you know, आपने ऐसे casually बोल दिया. It's not a joke, making 300 cold calls a night. I mean, what was that like? Like, you know, the 150th call and you're like, bas yaar. And this same thing, didn't you feel like it's the same thing? Or how did you go through it, like, without feeling bored out of your mind? Because a lot of things in life are monotonous. Going to the gym is monotonous.
Right.
Studying for exams is monotonous. But we have to, but how did you do it? Because you obviously are saying, I liked it, it was fun, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I was aware that I did not have another choice. See, once you start on that path, 2 years down the line, for me to go back and, you know, like, join college, be 3 years junior to my classmates, was more of a ego hit than, you know, being in that call center and doing whatever I was doing. So it was like beyond the point where I could turn back. So you had to make the most of it. But, you know, Chetan, I think every job at the end of the day, outside of how much money you make, outside of how repetitive it is or it isn't, I think it's a factor of who you're working around, like your immediate proximity, right? Like your boss, my manager, my colleagues in my team, stuff like that. And those people I built really good bonds with. Like some of them are still colleagues of mine. Like
Wow.
I had, you know, they had made me from a telesales executive to a team leader. And I had 2 guys in my team back then, like 18 years ago. They still work at Zerodha today because we have such a tight bond.
Wow. You pulled them in.
Yeah.
You said, "Kahan hai bhai, tu aaja."
Yeah.
Were they like shocked when they saw you like come boom, like Zerodha is like so big?
No, I think we kept in touch, like on and off along the way. With the vast majority, obviously, I couldn't. But the ones who were like really, really close, we did keep in touch.
Yeah. There are tens of thousands of employees in that call center alone, जहाँ पे आप काम करते थे. None of them opened Zerodha without being modest.
Yeah.
What is different about you
Yeah,
than
no,
other people? I mean, I know you say that you're like any other person, but there is definitely a few things that is different about you. कि बाकी तो कोई नहीं कॉल सेंटर वाला इतना सपना भी नहीं लेता फॉरगेट करने की तो बहुत दूर की बात है बट यू डिड इट एंड यू मेड इट हैपन हाउ
So to be, you know, it was all very organic. Say 20, at the age 20, after 3 years in the call center, I quit. In those 3 years, I had begun trading. My brother was also trading back then. Even he worked in a call center for a bit and he quit. Nitin.
wait, what were you trading? Your 8,000 rupees a month? क्या
I would save a part of that 8,000, and by the time I quit the call center, I would manage money for like my manager, a bunch of my colleagues.
Okay.
So they would give me a lot of leeway at work because I was also managing their money. And the timings work, right? Like you go to work 5 to 1:30, you go back, sleep, and back then markets opened at 10. Now they opened at 9:15. So you sleep, you wake up, you have markets from 10 to 3:30, and then you go back to work. So trading had begun. We started a couple of sub-broking franchisees. Nitin took one called Reliance Money. Then I took one called Way to Wealth. We would each have clients. We would manage their money, and whatever profit was made, they would share with us.
Did you work hard? You worked quite hard. It looks like you were doing 2 jobs. Call center and that trading, and then after that sub-broking.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I've noticed about you is you have, like, even when you say कि organic था, बस अपने आप होते गई चीज़ें. Organic kind of means कि पौधा है उगता गया. Organic, you know. But it's a lot of work, and I think you have this amazing capacity because I want to teach others how to become like you. That's really the reason.
I think I know the answer to that question.
Okay.
I get addicted to like certain things very quickly. I think stock market is an addiction for me. I till date have never considered it work. Like I've been investor for 18 years full time now. So that means for the last 17, 18 years, outside of maybe 2 days when I was in the hospital for something, I've not missed a single day of work. If I'm on holiday, I have like 4 computers with me. Markets are open. I'm investing every day, all day long. It's
Every day?
Every day.
Saturday, Sunday?
No, Saturday, Sundays markets are shut.
Okay.
Yeah, so you
Are
have
you
the
one
weekends.
of those? I was मैंने भी बैंक में काम किया है. I also had that phase actually.
Yeah.
Where you wait for Monday morning.
Yeah.
कि यार market कब खुलेगी?
Yeah. And see, the crazy thing about markets is every day is different. And nobody can predict tomorrow. You know, you have all these people on social media and the TV and all of that. It would actually be fair to say that if you took a TV news channel and you kind of like put everybody's advice in a bucket and did the opposite of that, you would probably have higher odds of being profitable.
Yes.
I mean, people claim to know the future and people claim that they can foresee the future, but with stock markets are erratic. I think the first thing you need to come to terms with is nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. When you come to terms with that, you become a better trader, because then you don't try to predict what will happen tomorrow, 1 month, 3 months, but you sit down and you figure out, okay, the markets might go up 2%, down 2%, they might be flat. What bunch of rules can I deploy that will do best in any of these scenarios?
Okay, let's talk first about your work ethic. And I think you work damn hard and you work every day for the last 18 years. Like, if it's not the markets, then you're doing other work.
Yeah.
So is this like you just love work, or is it like something, do you get absorbed in it? What is happening in your mind? Do you feel like...
Yeah, so I've realized what I like and what I do not like. What I'm not good at is managing people, kind of like, you know, driving a project. I don't have a single person who reports to me. I don't enjoy that, you know, that the nature of kind of like reprimanding people and having a vision and driving them to do better. Any of those, like, you know, I might be talking about the edge cases here. I much rather prefer to, you know, spend my time just looking at the world, trying to figure out patterns in what might be happening, doing research, allocating money to different things. I think that's my proficiency, and it took me a long time to figure that out. But ever since I have, I've been more content and more happy, even though I'm doing the same thing. Luckily, I have Nitin, who's very good at, you know, vision and people and all the really great things that he does. Not everybody has that, but I think you have to figure out that one path that you really enjoy. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, I think work feels like less work.
Yeah. And then you say you can deal with uncertainty also, like markets are uncertain. Sometimes you lose money. You must have lost money for other people also.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, if I have a year when I've made money 55% of the time and I've lost money 45% of the time, that would be an incredibly good year for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is money to you? You're in the money business. I want your take in detail on this, because you're rich. Whether you consider yourself or you can be modest, whatever, but you're one of the richest people in the world. Does it sometimes hit you? You're one of the richest human beings in the world.
Yeah, but Chetan, I think being rich, the way, I mean, you're one of the richest people in the world yourself in one way or the other when you look at the world.
No, I'm not. No,
you've sold books, you've made movies, you worked for Goldman Sachs.
I'm rich in a very, I've had a rich life. Yes, but I guess wealthy. Okay? Yeah. You're very wealthy. You're one of the wealthiest, those Forbes magazine lists and all that. You are one is that. Second is you come from a background where you didn't have money. You know, it's one thing when your dad also had that business and, you know, you also have it. So, theek hai, billionaires to 10 billion. It's different. You are the 8,000 rupees a month call center guy who quit in grade 10 and then did this. And you are in the money business. Like, you are basically customers of Zerodha are here to put their money, to make money or whatever. You are either investing or helping other people invest money. So money is like your life is around money, and at the same time you don't come across as like caring much for it, like in terms of the itne paise aa gaye ab ash karo. So what is money to you? Explain it to me.
See, it might sound a bit cliche and presumptuous almost, but if I were to be honest, there are like one or two things I like in life. Like, I really liked watches when I was younger, and, you know, I would spend hours looking at watches I could not afford, like all through childhood, and not just childhood but later in life.
Like which watches?
Like any watches. And I like vintage, old, you know, those very subtle, small dial kind of watches, like the old People who created a mechanism are generally the kind of watches I like. In the last 2 years, I've not bought a car, I've not bought a watch. I started feeling these luxury brands take advantage of you, to the extent that recently I was traveling somewhere and I went to like 4 different sunglass shop to find a sunglass which is not being made by Luxottica, because I thought that was the wrong thing to do. Find somebody independent and encourage them instead.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You think luxury brands are taking advantage of people because they are charging too much money?
I think
but not for you. It's like,
I don't think anybody wants to be taken for a ride. I mean, see, in all fairness, right? Like, I'm not dissing on luxury brands or designers.
But I'm saying for you, it's not a luxury brand. For you, it is like buying matches.
No, but I think that wealth disparity in the world has become such a big problem that, at least in Bangalore, right? In my circle, gone are the days when you're driving a fancy gas guzzling car. Your peer group is going to look at you and be like, nice car. If you do that today, people will be like, what's wrong with you?
Wow.
I don't think that exists as much in Bombay, Delhi, Hyderabad, but I think in Bangalore it's very evident. It's in your face.
Consumption is not cool.
Yeah. I don't think consumption is cool.
Yeah. Consumption is not cool, or like a hedonistic. But okay. So it's not the enjoyment money gives you because a lot of people think that if you see Instagram, right? And all these people like telling people, okay, invest and make money, and then there's some guy in a Lambo.
Yeah, no.
All that and people are giving it millions of views. I'm telling you, that will have more views than this chat.
Yeah.
This is the real deal. This is where I'm really talking to a person who's doing it, who understands money better than almost anyone on this planet. But the guy with the Lambo and 3 hot girls and a yacht and everything. I mean, that's what people think money is about. And you're saying that doesn't excite you.
No, I think money is freedom. And when you spend money, you're taking away freedom.
How is that? Explain that. That's a very interesting thought.
So money is most powerful when it's lying in an asset class earning you a return and you're not spending it. So if you were to equate, let's say, everybody has a trip in life, right? Let's say you're a politician, it could be importance. Let's say you're an actor, it could be fame. Let's say you're a businessman, it could be money. If you go down, if you peel one layer of the onion, we are not looking for actually what we are saying. We are looking for what sets us apart from our peer group. Right? Like, humans historically have never been altruistic. We've always had an ego from the beginning of time. I'm sure when there were hunters at the very beginning, one hunter wanted to be the strongest one in his own community. And if there was a farmer, he wanted to be the biggest farmer in his own community. So behind all of these trips, it could be, some people have a moral trip, right? Like, there are many people who do morally good because that makes them feel superior in front of their own eyes. If you were to take away what each one's thing is, you take away money, you take away this, whatever, I think we are all driven by that very inherent human emotion. And I don't think that will ever change. When I say it is good that people are moving on from Lambos to, kind of like contributing to community, or like kind of like being a more conscientious person in a way, that again is a trip. It's a model trip. But I would rather have more people like that in the world, and I think that would be better for the world than having a lot more people who are driven by the money, fame, power trip.
Yeah. But ऐसे फिर भी कोई, you're so young, कोई ऐसे अय्याशियाँ like नहीं है ऐसे कि like
when I was younger, maybe like
there was a phase.
Yeah. कर लिया. जितना हो सकता था, like I was always like the few things I was obsessed with, like watch and this and that, holiday.
देखा खूब.
Yeah, but I mean, also the thing with buying a watch or buying a car, right? Like, you build it up so much in your head that it's always a disappointment when you finally get it.
Yeah. Well, there's been research on that now. That what happens is that anticipation is more pleasurable than actually getting it. There's a Winnie the Pooh. If you remember, there's a Winnie the Pooh has this line. He says, I'll tell you what is tastier than the honey. The moment you know that you're going to get the honey and it's going to touch your tongue, That moment is the best moment, not when the honey actually touches the tongue.
I agree with you in many ways, but yes.
Yeah, and the scientific reason for this is that the circuit that is making you want things is the dopamine circuit, which is a chemical in our brain which makes us want more. Just simply wants more. But to enjoy something, that is not dopamine's job. Once dopamine gets it, it just says, "Ab aur kya chahiye?"
Correct.
So dopamine will make you obsess about a watch or a car, and one day you will get that car. But enjoying the car is not dopamine's job. Dopamine's job is future. Or kya lana hai? Enjoying it is like serotonin, and now I'm getting too technical, neurochemicals.
No, but I totally agree with you.
That,
I think
that will not, it's just your brain is not wired. If your brain has gone crazy wanting something, when you actually get it, you will feel, yaar, itna bhi maza nahi aaya.
So maybe the key then is to sit in between, right? Be able to afford something but never buy it. Because it'll keep giving you small dopamine gigs.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a wonderful book I would recommend to people and to you. It's called The Molecule of More. It is a book written by neuroscientists, and it is on dopamine, and it talks about what is the correct thing.
Right.
Because if there is no dopamine, if there is no desire for future, तो हम कुछ करेंगे ही नहीं. That's also not right. That if you're just, and if you only keep living in the future, you'll keep building. In fact, that book says that, in fact, people who create these big companies, they are actually doing service to humanity, because they keep making these companies thinking it'll become bigger and bigger and they'll get happier, but it doesn't. Ultimately, they end up serving humanity. And you have a tattoo, which, if you can just hold it up to your camera, it says "Be here now."
Yeah, the funny thing about
"Be here now," which is fantastic, because this is a big discussion. Because first you have to tell me how this tattoo came about. Is this a drunken night story? Is it a planned story?
It is something like that. But I wanted to get the tattoo. The font I'm not proud of.
Okay, tell me how did it happen? But did the...
So why I wanted the
tattoo... When
tattoo...
did the tattoo happen? How it happened?
This one happened maybe 7-8 years ago. I had read this book called Be Here Now. There's an Indian author. I know what was his name? A.K. Ramdas. He wrote a book about why you should not procrastinate, why you should not think too much about what has already happened. I have that tendency. I spent a large part of my life behaving and living in a manner where I keep thinking about what will happen based on what I'm doing today, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line.
Give me an example of that.
Like, if I work hard today, in 10 years, I might not have to work for every small thing. If I don't go on that holiday today, it'll pay me off in 5 years. If I am nice to some people and I help them out, they will pay me back in 5 years, 10 years, in whatever way. In every single way, I used to spend too much time thinking about that and judging myself a lot more than I should judge myself. And the tattoo has a lot of meaning for me. It points at me because no one else can really read it, but I can. So it's some kind of a reminder. I mean, again, like...
That's a big one. I mean, you can set reminders other ways, but to actually tattoo it on your arm means it profoundly affected, and you were really suffering in a way, like you were never present. I mean, you weren't in the be here now.
Yeah, but how many of us truly are, right?
No, you're not. And it's the same when what I just spoke about, the dopamine circuit makes us live in the future. And entrepreneurs have this tendency because they are seeing growth, and growth is about the future. And it can ruin your present. It can ruin, if you never are in the present, you've not lived. Because you're never there. So, in fact, they say that a lot of these great inventors and founders, they want to do things for humanity, but they don't like human beings.
Right.
They don't want to manage people. Just quoting somebody. Because the brain circuit about managing people makes you have to focus on the now.
Right.
It's much easier for them to focus on the future. But what is interesting is that you saw that in you. You've seen that you have a tendency to kind of always, and a lot of us have. I have. And I have now, Nikhil, now at age, because of COVID, I was forced to be in the now. Because where are you going to fly to and give another talk or do another book launch or sign another deal? You better stay here and focus. And then I realized, what am I doing? I'm not even living. I'm not living. I'm living in some spaceship out there in time. And but you've had this realization, like you're saying, several years
No,
back.
no, I'm still not in the now either.
Yeah, it's not
but
easy.
Yeah,
It's
even
not-
this tattoo, I mean, 10 times, no, 99 out of 100 times when I look at it, it's like ink, right? I don't pay attention. My mind has like, it's like ads on TV. We don't pay attention to it. Once in a while, when someone asks me, I remind myself, but even for that, it's worth it.
No,
Even that 1 in 100 times.
Yeah, at least somebody is curious. It's talking point.
Yeah.
But how did the tattoo actually happen? Like, were you drunk? Were you?
I was in Singapore with a friend who had many tattoos.
Okay.
And this was like, one night, and tattoo shops are open really late in Singapore.
Yeah.
So he was like, do you want to get a tattoo? And he's like, what do you want to get? And this came into my mind. So it was not planned or any of that. It happened like by chance.
And a few drinks helps to make such a decision. And then you wake up in the morning and say, "Ow, that hurts."
So strangely, I don't think tattoos in this region of your body, I
They
don't
don't
think they hurt that much.
There was no
I
pain?
think no. I mean, there was pain, but it's very manageable. The soft tissue, I think, around the bones and stuff, that's where tattoos really hurt.
This "be here now" is also what the Gita says,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What a lot of science is now saying, and a lot of what our Indian spirituality has said. The science is now doing, peer-reviewed studies and experiments and trying to do MRIs and X-rays, and somehow our ancient, people who were there in India or whatever, they knew this when they wrote the Gita, that this is, I mean, there was no technology then, no tech. Still, they said you should live in the moment. Don't. Are you a spiritual person? Are you drawn to it? Something like that?
No, I don't think I am. I would want to be, but I feel like the more I think about anything in life, I find it meaningless, like nihilistic in a way. I don't really have a certain faith, a certain belief system, any of that.
Religion?
No, I don't think so. I mean, superficially, I would go to a temple or a church. I mean, I go to a temple because I'm Brahmin, because my mother is having a puja, and I'd be very respectful and all of that. And at some level, there is a lot of us have this as well. We are religious by virtue of fear of not being religious.
Yeah.
Like you're like, by chance agar kuch hai,
Anxiety.
why do you want to take the chance?
It becomes an anxiety coping mechanism.
Yeah, just be religious and
Almost like a OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm spiritual. See, another problem, Chetan, if I were to tell you, I've asked 5-10 different people who claim to be very spiritual what their definition of spirituality is, and each one has had a different one, and they're starkly different. So I think spirituality in itself is a very fluid concept. I think I have been able to deceive my mind to a certain extent, not totally, into believing my own bullshit. Like, I feel like in life this is important, I want to do this, I want to
like
achieve.
what? Like
Like a lot of the charity projects that we do, a lot of stuff around education. We were doing a lot of work during COVID. At some level, these kind of like, they help your ego feel like you're a better person than you truly are. And I think every human innately wants to feel that. So I think I have not perfected that deception. Like I said, if I think about
why do you say it's a deception? Why do you say you are like you use the word I've deceived my mind into thinking doing charities?
Not just charity,
or like whatever, some other projects.
I think every facet in life, like
you're saying that you've deceived your mind into believing that there is meaning in this.
Yeah, like in my work, for example, right? Like
we are building something, but you are saying inherently there is no meaning to life.
What is sure, I can invest.
It's a very big discussion. What is the meaning of life? But let's have it.
Sure, I can say that, my job, if I were to say my job is investing in the right companies, and when those companies become more valuable, selling it. I can also rephrase that and say, giving opportunity to people by virtue of providing capital and all of that. I can think it has meaning, but if not for me, someone else would do it if the company was capable and they needed the capital. I don't think I am adding significant value to that cycle in a manner that my psyche or my subconscious will tell me. Hence, I say deceiving myself. Hence, we're very mortal beings, right? Like I'm 35, you're 45,
48.
48.
Yes.
Let's assume average age that people
I
live.
know, I'm closer.
So if an average Indian lives to the age of 70, now I can easily start thinking, okay, half my life is over.
No, you're not average.
I have 35
You're
years
very
left.
fit. We'll talk about fitness. You're going longer than that, Nikhil. Don't worry. But yes, I know what you're saying. We have finite lives.
Yeah.
And I always say, even if you have 50 years, that's 2,500 weekends.
Yeah. But I hope more people think like that, because what is the point of accumulating more money when you're 50 and 60 if you know you have like 10 years left?
Okay. Now, you just said if you spend money, money has power only when you don't spend it, invest, it earns money. Now you're saying if you have only 10, 20 years left, why are you saving the money?
Yeah, but I don't mean spend the money. I mean like do things with the money that can, again, not really change the world, but things with which you can tell yourself that you are attempting to change the world. I think that power, that freedom that comes with money, where you can attempt these really big things or tell yourself that you are, I think that's the biggest thing about money.
That's really interesting that you have that wisdom, because most people will just get carried away by the billions, man. I mean, honestly, it's just too much. It's just too much. You'll feel you are the most powerful man on earth.
Yeah.
And you will have these, you just came by yourself. My assistant was coordinating with you directly. There was no entourage. There is nobody who has come with you, right, today. Like you could have had like 6 security guards and bouncers happening, and like all kinds of things are happening, and it's not hit you in the way money usually, or like extreme success. I would say you're a case of extreme success. I mean, where it's like 4 standard deviation, 8 standard deviation event. It's not hit you and made you crazy.
Well, I hope it hasn't.
It hasn't. I mean, it's clear. You're like so chill, and you're like, "Arey, kya karna hai? Isme main kya rakha hai abhi?"
I'm sure some people might disagree. Like,
Yeah?
But I think at some point I've spent like 18 years of my life focusing on one facet of my life. While I've been focusing on that one facet, I've ignored many other facets of my life.
Like what? So what you're focused on is Zerodha. Zerodha is your baby.
Yeah.
Zerodha is your lifeblood, everything.
So I'll give you like a bit more context.
What has that come at an expense of?
Yeah, so let's say, where were we on the timeline? We were at 21 when we started sub-broking, Kamath Associates, managing money. We started Zerodha when I was 23. Nitin's a bit older. So when we started Zerodha, the plan very much was we would have 2 revenue streams. One would be, continue investment trading. The other would be to try and build a broking platform. I was focusing on the investment. Nitin was focusing on the broking. Along the way, we've gotten some incredible people. I think the part about Zerodha has been, I think, I might have contributed less than like 100 different people in the office who have much, much bigger contributions. There are people like Kailash, our CTO, Nitin. There's one neighbor of ours from when we were 14 years old and playing cricket in Canara Bank apartments. He's our COO. Somebody whose sister I used to go to the call center job with, his name is Hanan. He handles all of our support team and quality. Like one day his brother-in-law told me, I have this relative called Hanan. He wants to get into trading like 15 years ago. Do you want to meet him? He's still there. Kartik, who heads all of our education, all of that, is again a friend from 15, 16 years ago. I think all of these people have had incredible, larger than me contributions to Zerodha in many ways. At the very beginning, the first few years, maybe I contributed by virtue of earning money for Zerodha, so we did not have to take investors from outside. But yeah, I think that
Do you feel guilty about your success sometimes, or imposter syndrome? It's a real thing.
Yeah, no. I've heard some.
Even for us, like when my first movie came out.
At some level, yeah.
Yeah.
At some level, it's there. It's like, you've gotten lucky, and I think anybody who says lucky more often than they should have some amount of imposter syndrome.
You're the only person who has said it.
Really?
I mean, I've done some. I mean, this couch has seen some rich people. I must tell you, especially that side, not this side. But I mean, And they've all been great and they've been amazing. And maybe I never discussed. It's becoming very philosophical today, which is amazing. I think it's really rare that happens. But you're the first person who has said, and not just in DeepTalk. I've met superstars in Bollywood and ministers. I mean, I've met some really top people.
I think those people,
nobody has said that.
Those people can't say.
Nobody, but nobody has said that it's all luck. Like meant it. Like ऊपर से शायद fakely बोल देंगे अरे हमने तो कुछ नहीं भगवान. But they somehow feel like. But you're the only one who says you're like wow. I feel like an imposter. Why me?
No, but I think it's a mathematical certainty. If you were to like be able to survey a large enough portion of any population, you will for a fact find 1 million people, tens of thousands of people who are more hardworking than me, more intelligent than me. The only thing I think that has worked for people who are successful now, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying successful people across different realms, right? Be it a politician, an actor, whatever else you mentioned. The timing of it, I think, plays a bigger part than raw ability.
Yes and no. I agree with you and I don't agree with you. And I'll tell you why, and I'll come from my place. I remember when my books became a hit, I used to go to Crossword and Crossword said we have 40,000 titles, like 40,000 different authors are there. And mine was number one. And it remained like that. It's still, my books are bestsellers.
Right.
And it used to be number one for also a very long time whenever a new release came. And I would feel guilty. I was like, these 40,000 people have worked hard. They have had a publishing contract. Means 40,000 means they have beaten like, I don't know, 4 lakh or 40 lakh people, because only 1 in 100 books gets a contract to be published.
Right.
And these authors have made it here. But why is my book? Am I that great a writer? Am I like that amazing? At the end of the day, I used to work in a bank. Right. And I would feel that. And I've never admitted it like this, but because you have, then I can tell you that I have had that imposter syndrome too. And we all kind of have it. But where I disagree with you is, you say, okay, it came and is that the thing I've done with the luck that came my way is I doubled down on it by working damn hard to preserve it. I didn't just get one hit book. I wrote book after book after book for decades. It's been like 20 years since I've started writing, and I've been writing books, 13 books so far, so many other things, and I hustle every day. And so in that sense, luck came to me and I kind of pushed it further to the maximum degree to get. And I think for you also, 18 years you've worked every day without a break. I mean, your vacations are also not breaks. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And I think, so for that part, you should not feel like an imposter, because many people do get luck. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And they don't reach their potential, or they don't do this. So I would, as someone older than you, I would say that these feelings are natural, but you have to realize that you've put in a lot of work, which other people have not.
I know, same repetitive job for a long time.
Same repetitive job, and you have it in you. This lesser known trait, you can sit in a call center and make a same call 300 times for 3 years and smile about it.
I think this is an interesting segue into the cost that you were asking me. The cost of doing the same job without, for 18 years every day, right? Like every day, 8 o'clock, you wake up, you trade, you invest, you do whatever, you do research, is you can't go for family functions, you can't really have great relationships, you can't spend as much time with your parents as you should have, while you could have. When your parents get beyond a certain age, you could, figure out a very complicated way of taking them on a holiday, but that their health just doesn't support it. They're much more comfortable in their own surroundings and stuff like that. So the time for that is when the time for that was. And once that has passed, it becomes the cost. And I think these are...
You feel like...
Yeah, many things. That I think so many things I've missed with so many people in my life along the way. Yeah.
You do wish you had taken some vacations with your parents when they could have maybe traveled more, able-bodied.
I mean, parents, relationships,
you
friends.
Let's talk about relationships. Okay, and you said that working so hard means that you will not have great relationships. So I'm going to talk more in general only, but you were married.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go into, this is not a gossip site or an interview. Most people watching this are contemplating work versus relationships, career versus relationship, job versus relationship. And it's hard. Relationships are hard, I say myself. So yeah.
I think I did not enjoy, I was reading some book by Osho. I mean, not the best.
No, he's great. I like
Yeah.
Osho. I like Osho, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the controversies, but there's a lot of wisdom there.
Like, I feel like I'm very fluid in my thought. Like, I'm very willing to change. I might have believed in something for the last 30 years of my life. Tomorrow you show me a logical way why that is false, or something else is more true to me, I will change like this. So marriage as a concept to me, I mean, this might go against, like, you go back in time, right? Like, we've had religion for maybe 2000 years, like organized religion as we know it, which has been recorded very well. Like Hinduism is obviously older and stuff like that. We've had city states, nation states, we've had socialism, capitalism, we've arrived at where we are today. I think marriage as a construct worked at a time where we did not really have a constitution to the extent that we have today. I think
that constitution, like the constitution of India.
Think of it in terms of, there isn't a governing body to mandate what is right and what is wrong. Back then you needed something like religion to do it for you, right? Or you needed like some kind of euphemism of something else, which is essentially constitution in my mind. I call it
you need to believe in something.
Yeah. I think marriages were more relevant at one point in time in our past than they are today. When you remove all the filters and all the the influences of different people you've grown up with and different cultures you've been exposed to, marriage is essentially going to court and asking permission for wanting to be with someone.
Yeah, and they say it's love with the government involved.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think those two things go hand in hand. I think freedom, or even a freedom of thought, is innately very important to all of us. And I know a lot of people have very happy marriages, but I don't think I have those really strong preconditioning in my mind where just because somebody said ABCD is good, I will start to believe in it. I will keep questioning, I will keep wondering, and I don't think that is good for any relationship.
Yeah, I mean, marriage is at least if I see Instagram, when a celebrity gets married, people get so curious about some, you don't know the celebrity, but people get so curious about a celebrity wedding and wedding in general.
Yeah.
In India, at least, people marriage is a party, firstly, the wedding party, and the clothes and the food and the dancing, and people are obsessed. And I think somewhere down the line, there is a belief, even abroad, marriage is a kind of big thing. And there is a belief that there is someone out there who will love us and we will love them and we will come together.
I don't buy into that. Huh? I don't buy into that entire
concept. I mean, it's hard. I mean, how is it possible? Yeah. But it's sold, and I think brands sell it.
Yeah, because it helps them.
Because instinctively we want to believe in that. We want to believe that, I'll just walk out of the room and there'll be this person who will see me and then we'll spend our lives together. And someone once asked me advice on they were getting married, and they asked me what advice you have on their wedding day. I said life after marriage gets better, but a little better. It won't get a lot better. It's your own freaking life. You don't think that some person will come into your life and you will change. If you don't go to the gym, you were a fat ass before. You're gonna remain a fat ass.
Yeah.
If your career was going nowhere, if you didn't work hard, your marriage is not going to change that. And you may get, I don't know, some physical, like you get sex or whatever, and you get some romantic love. But how is that going to change you as a person and all the wiring that you have inside you and how you think? It's very difficult. And I think it's hard. It's wrong to expect another person to just come and rescue you. If you're in a hellhole, you will remain in a hellhole.
Yeah, I think nobody can rescue anybody. I think you have to figure out I think in many ways that's the problem in relationships where people are like, I am unhappy, you make me happy.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever works.
Knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
How does one become happy though? Are you happy? Are you happy most of the time?
I don't think anyone in the world is happy.
Wow.
I think we're all very like.
You're a billionaire, but at least you should be. Then who is?
I don't think anybody is happy. I think we're all. I think happiness is relative.
What do you mean? Firstly, you cannot be happy 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If I had 5 bad things happen to me in the last 5 days, and today a bad thing happened but not as bad,
okay, so
that would be happy.
And we've had this discussion with friends before, so I'm asking you, as I ask my friends, that I often ask it in 2 words. One is, on an average, out of 10, what is your baseline score of happiness going through life? And yeah, what percentage of your time are you happy? Because everybody's not, 100 is not possible, and neither is 10 baseline possible.
Yeah, I mean, I have to acknowledge like all the good things that have happened in my life. So I would definitely say 6, 7. Yeah.
That's your baseline?
Yeah. I would say I'm happy a lot of the time. I'm not.
But it's not 8 or 9 or 9.5.
Maybe. I'm an escapist. Like I can't do confrontation. So if something is not making me happy or is taking away my peace of mind, which I tell myself is also what happiness means to me. When I'm not worried, I think that is happy. Like you take away worry from a situation, I call that happiness. I would say, I could say 8. Yeah, sure.
8.
No?
Do you have, especially in the kind of business you're in with such vast amounts of money, people's wealth who are trusting you, is there a lot of anxiety sometimes you have in life? And how do you deal with it? Because a lot of people face anxiety these days, and I wanted tips from you on how do you deal with like high pressure, high anxiety. Stress and anxiety are a big thing these days.
Yeah, so I'm quite stoic about the whole thing. I'm able to like, if 10 things are going wrong, I think I'm able to take 3-4 things and put them in a compartment and go back to them later. Also, a lot of people tell me I'm emotionally dead to a certain extent because I never react. And I would say that helps in my profession.
You're emotionally dead?
And being like not emotionally swayed by a win or a loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to money or investments, you don't react emotionally. Oh my God, the market has crashed. What are we like? That typical image of a investor or stockbroker jumping in office. That doesn't happen.
No, also like it's almost 18 years of every day doing the same thing, right? At some point you're like,
so you're
everything
saying
is
your nature is not very volatile. Neither do you. Are you saying that you don't feel deliriously happy ever, or nor do you feel deliriously sad ever?
I would say that. I think you're right when you were saying. When you know you can get something that you want and just before you have it, that dopamine hit is probably as close to happiness as one could get.
Yeah. Well, in fact, that same book talks about that there is that a few moments when that dopamine and serotonin, these are 2 separate chemicals, when they just kind of both act, and that's when life is just perfect. But it said that it's dangerous to only live for that. You have to, what you've written here, be here now. That is the way. I think happiness, do you agree with me or not? But my theory is happiness is something you have to decide and work on. You have to say, okay, I'm going to be happy now. And then you take steps in your life to be happy. It doesn't come to you. It's not like the weather. It's not mood based.
See, I agree with you at a certain level. I also feel like, for me, when I feel a little bit happy, if I were to actually think, is I enjoy the process of discovery, of learning, of figuring stuff out. Like, I'm a big fan of history and maybe like psychology. If you go back in time and all the best philosophers in the world, I like people like the Greek, the ones who question versus the ones who preach. I think curiosity is innately such a beautiful thing. We don't ask people what we want to ask by the fear of being judged and, you look stupid or whatever. But I think that process of discovering stuff you didn't know earlier is at some level happiness as well. That your, honey before you actually eat it when it's close to your mouth. Knowing you can afford something that you've always wanted to afford. all those miniature moments of happiness, I think.
Are there. Okay, let's talk about helping people who are watching this. You very fit.
No, not very, but
I mean, for a billionaire, you are. I mean, you're not a bodybuilder.
Right.
I mean, if had that's different.
Yeah.
But you're fit, you make money. This is what most people want, and they are not getting. People are addicted to Instagram reels. I'm sorry to say, but that is the state of my country right now.
Yeah.
They are addicted to pornography. They're not going out there. They want to meet girls. They want to have a girlfriend, but they are like going to Pornhub or whatever sites that are there right now. I'm not endorsing any. God, please don't come here for suggestions. They are playing video games. Instead of conquering the world, they are trying to conquer virtual worlds and like Grand Theft Auto or whatever the hell they're playing these days. They are lazy. They are not disciplined. And you seem to have got it right, Nikhil. And you don't seem to be that aware of it. You're not even, and what is different about you is you're not that typical, yes, chalo jawano, like, you're very calm about it. So what do you have to tell to this young boy who's like somewhere in Bikaner or Allahabad or Guwahati or wherever watching this and thinking, yaar kuch banna hai, haan, ye log kuch hai, inhone kuch kara hai, lekin mujhse to nahi hoga yaar. And then he goes back to his stupid Instagram reels. I mean, what do you have to say?
See, I've experienced this. At some point, I used to look at Instagram reels myself. I had someone who was a very good friend of mine who spent time on Instagram, and I picked up from there. I can say without doubt it's one of the most toxic things you can do with your time. I feel like,
why is that?
I don't even have an explanation for why, but it is so draining. If I was thinking of doing a certain thing tomorrow for the last 3-4 hours and planning it, half an hour watching Instagram reels will clutter my mind with so much nonsense that it's really hard to go back and find the thought. It's so prevalent, there's so many people around me who kind of like spend so much time on Instagram. I have put that filter, which says more than 30 minutes a day of social media not allowed. But at the same time, when I read a book for 30 minutes versus, because I think it's clarity of thought. You're thinking about one particular thought versus inundating your senses with 500 different things. One is so much better than the other.
Okay, that is Insta Reels. But fitness, what do you do for fitness? What do you do for diet? What do you do?
Yeah, so I try to eat, like I'm a non-vegetarian, so I eat protein. So for breakfast, I'd have eggs. For lunch, I'll have some kind of protein with rice, or like it could be dal and roti or something. And then dinner's the same. I don't have like some super fancy diet. The one thing I do have is one protein shake a day after my workout. I think that helps. The bigger question being motivation to go to the gym. I think it's realization that I'm aging in a certain way. Realization that if I don't take care of myself now, 10, 20 years down the line, I'll really regret it. Also, realization of watching people who are really sick around me. There's a lot of illness around me, like, people in my family, be it my dad, my friends. I've seen a lot of people go through like serious crap because of health issues. At some level, my subconscious is affected by all of that, and I'm like,
How often do you go to the gym?
I go 3-4 days a week.
Okay. And what do you do? Like weights or?
Weights.
Mainly weights.
Weights. I try and play football 1 day a week or badminton.
Okay.
1 or 2 days. I play in the night from 10 p.m. to 12.
How can people play football with you in Bangalore? Where do you play?
I mean, you can hit me up and come play. Kickstart, match day, many grounds. I play those, in the night they put floodlights, 6 on 6.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
And diet, do you avoid certain things?
Sugar, I try and avoid. That's the only thing. Sugar, things which are overly processed. I'm no kind of an expert to be, doling out dietary advice. Even what I follow myself is Saturday and Sunday I will have biryani and ice cream and chocolate cake and a bunch of different things, and I will keep fluctuating. I'll put on 5 kilos, I'll lose 5 kilos. So, see, my fitness is being honest. I'm not being like too harsh on myself. I would say median. Good, great. I would say I'm in between medium and good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can all get better
Yeah.
in fitness. We all, like, I mean, it's not like just because I'm telling you to tell others about discipline doesn't mean we are perfectly disciplined.
Yeah.
And I think in a way, sometimes advice from people like us is better because the pros are like extremely disciplined and it's impossible to be that way. But I know that I wasn't that disciplined. I've become better, but there is still a long way to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Do you still believe in love? Do you still believe in some partner you will...
I believe proximity in a way inculcates affection and attachment. Do I believe in the concept that there is this magical unicorn out there which for some reason I will run into somewhere and everything will be perfect for the rest of my life? I don't think so. For me, the most important thing in a relationship is being forgiving. I think we all screw up, right? Like I've made so many mistakes in my life. You might have made some mistakes in your life. And I know for a fact I will make some mistakes in the future. If I were to be judged too harshly, I will but reciprocate at some level because my psyche will tell me to, and the relationship becomes worse by virtue of that. I think the more forgiving a person is, the bigger the chances of a relationship working. But of course, I believe in love. I've watched enough Bollywood and Hollywood movies to want to believe in love.
Please do.
So I've been dating one girl for the last year and 8 months, and she's a bit younger than me, but she's lovely. She's a very, very sweet girl. And,
Okay. So what do you look for in a partner, like whatever, a girlfriend, partner, future wife, whatever?
I think peace of mind. Yeah.
Peace of mind. That's
I
it.
feel
Shanti rakh bhai.
I feel like Shanti is the most important thing. Shanti followed by affection and somebody who cares for you, and it's visible how much they care for you, right? It's the small things that matter.
What matters to you now in life? Are you figuring out? Is there a new path? Is there more of Zerodha, making Zerodha 5x, 10x? Is it something else? What is it about for you?
I think it's to kind of like focus on all facets of life versus one facet of life. All the things that I've ignored in the past, focus on health, focused on family, focus on relationship, be more holistically complete versus doing well at one thing and failing at many others. Yeah, I think to find balance.
You're looking for that
Yeah.
balance now. And what do you want to tell youngsters, like who's like 20 now and figuring out what they want to do in life?
Yeah, I mean, I would say life is short. We don't realize it. Like it feels like yesterday I was 20 and today I'm 35, right? I know when I turn 45, 50 will be like that again. Don't be too hard on yourself, and don't let other people persuade you without you knowing for you to be too hard on yourself. I think, like be you, relax, like, don't feel like you've not done well, you've not done this, you've not done that. The world is a hard place. It keeps beating people down, and we will all screw up. Like so many times in life, we will screw up. Sometimes more publicly, sometimes more privately. We will do stupid things. Forgive yourself and kind of like take each day as a new day.
You've been very open and you have done so many interviews about investments and trading, and, everything. You also tweet about India's national issues, or especially finance related, trade deficit. You've been talking about trade deficit, that India's trade deficit is too high for many months now. And now, where we are now, we are seeing the effects of that. The rupee is really falling. Do you feel a lot for those things? These are some of the things. Like, what makes you tweet those things?
Because see, I'm looking at them all day long, right? Like if I have a big investment, then I'm staying up in the night seeing what happened in the US when the Fed came out and spoke. So that's running in my mind, hence I'm tweeting about it. There are very many problems with India. But I will also say this, like recently I met a lot of investors from different countries at Davos. The one thing I have come to realize is Indians are more critical about India than foreigners are of India. There is immense optimism about India outside of India. Maybe that's a factor of, obviously the demographics, the consumer market, the scale of our market, all of that, but also, the consistency at the top. I think we have been a big beneficiary of many governments across us have had a political scenario where there has been one person on the top, another changed, stuff like that. The fact that we've had one leadership, one prime minister for as long as we have, has benefited us. And along the way, there have been many good things. There have been some bad things. But these are the things which kind of govern my day. I am but a watcher, or I'm like a minion who cannot affect the outcomes that are going on in the world, but I can give my little commentary on it because I'm watching it all day long, and that's
no, you can affect. I mean, you're one of the influencers, and I think some of the things you talked about, it's definitely you're somebody who people look up to, and you can contribute to public opinion in a way, and your views matter a little more than a minion's would, I would say. But anyway, it has been fantastic talking to you. I wonder how this experience was for you. This is different from your other interviews.
Yeah, very different. I think I like the fact that we focused less about stock market and economy, like I would have in most other interviews, and we spoke about a bunch of stuff. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm always interested in the person. The business is amazing, and there's no doubt about it, and we can talk about it. But this is deep talk, which means we go deep. I try to go deep. It's not like a journalist interview. It's like two friends talking. And I have come to a point in life where if you are having a conversation, it better be meaningful. It better be deep. Else, don't have it.
Right.
And I think you've been super open, not like dodged any question, nothing at all. And in fact, even shared some of the weaknesses you have. And I think most people will be surprised to see such openness coming from someone like you. Guys, if you've been watching it till this point, I'd like you to give comments on what we discussed, what Nikhil said, whether you agree with him, whether you don't agree with him. He will read all the comments. I promise you that. Whether he can reply to all, I don't know. You've seen his schedule. But he'll definitely read them. I'll read them. And just tell us how we can be better. Anything, last minute thing you want to tell?
No, thank you for having me. This was fun, and maybe we should do like a follow-up in 2 years and see how our thoughts have changed.
Definitely. I think we're both at the same stage of life. We are also expanding. We're also trying to seek balance and meaning. And we've kind of done a lot. And while that is great, we want to do little different things also in the future. Yeah, maybe we'll do another one. Maybe I'll come to Bangalore.
Yeah,
and we can
please.
Do it there.
Yeah, you should.
And you came specially in the rain to Mumbai. I'll be forever indebted for that. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching Deep Talk. Take care.